Let me tell you something that nobody has told you before. If you are a multi-talented person and you are interested in different fields and you feel that you want to invent something all the time and you love connecting the dots between different domains, you, my friend, are a modern definition of a second Renaissance polymath. What do I mean by that? Polymath is actually a person who is into different domains and different fields. They learn new skills faster than anybody else, and they love to combine something which is unique from every different field, and then they combine that in their unique possible way, and sometimes they invent different fields altogether. Now history has been like there where we see people like Leonardo da Vinci, who was not only an anatomist, not just a painter, he did a whole lot of different things, and he is actually a definition of a Renaissance man, somebody who specializes in a lot of skills. Now, when I have been always confused in my life about, having that one path, I was never that person who, would have something like, okay, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a teacher, and just do that. I just didn't want to be boxed into one identity. I always loved exploring different things. So I have explored fashion designing, I have explored art, I have explored being a speaker, I have explored writing, copywriting, content writing, LinkedIn ghostwriting, even the field of, let's say, coaching and consulting. So this is something that calls out to me. And I was very confused for a certain amount of time that why am I like this? But then I read this book which is called The Polymath by Peter Hollins, and this explained to me that there are certain people in this world who are built for exploring different fields. We are not specialists, but we are actually generalists, and we are like you can explain this in the form of a comb. Let's say you are a comb and there are different grooves there. So a polymath is basically a person who dabbles in different fields and knows a little bit about everything, and that is how we operate. So such people are meant for portfolio careers, different things. Brains are wired for multitasking and handling multiple things at one go. However, you need to be careful that when you touch upon a project, you do not abandon that project. You finish that project and then move on to something that is really interesting. And once I read this book, I really understood that picking up new skills and learning new skills is something that can be easily taught, and you can learn it too. So if you feel, and if you ever feel confused that why am I not being able to stick to one career path, it's not your fault, it's your wiring. Your wiring and is done in such a way that you are meant for multiple things. So the world will tell you for sure that stick to one thing and get good at one thing. That's okay for certain people whose brains are wired to stick to one thing, but there are so many of us out there who are actually who are good at a lot of things and who love to experiment with a lot of things. It's just that you need a proper structure so that you don't get scattered around or burnt out. And this book exactly, I learned that concept from this book, and it taught me that my wiring is a little different, and I do not need to be like afraid of it, or I do not need to be embarrassed because I'm into a lot of things. So whether it is being a fashion designer, whether it is being an artist, creator, designer, writer, speaker, coach or consultant, whatever it is, everything that I have been doing is actually because I'm a second Renaissance modern polymath. So if you are somebody who feels confused, give this book a read, because you never know, maybe you are not meant to specialize in one thing and you are supposed to try and explore different fields. A lot of people will disagree with me and a lot of people will agree with me, but if you are in that range, if you have that range, and even there's another book about which talks about this. It's called The Range by David Epstein. I've also read that book, and that book also talks about the same concept. So if you want to explore more about what being a polymath means, put it in the comments and I will make more videos about this.